Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. Why do I ask y'all to smash up the likes? Because when you smash that like button, you put it in their face. Yeah, fam, the algorithm rewards us when we hit that like button. You know, it lets everybody know what's going on over here. It lets them know it's going down right now over here, right now. You dig? Nolan Wells case continues to make headlines as legal threats, fundraising campaigns, and new questions fuel debate nationwide. Joining me today is trial attorney Andrew Wilkerson to break down the legal aspects of what's going on. What's up? What's up, King? How you feel?
What's up? It's all good. Glad to be back.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. I want to talk about this defamation thing real quickly before we get into the sound and the developments going on with the recording. Do the Friends have a real defamation case? Are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
Are you familiar with the defamation case?
No, but I think I heard you say, do the Friends have a real defamation?
Oh, okay, so here's what's happening. So the attorney for Bart Edmonston, the boy who was on the phone call, he's trying to sue Ben Crump and content creators and anybody who got something negative to say about him or points the finger and says, I think he did it. They're trying to sue. His lawyer is trying to sue.
Who lawyer? The person that called the boat company or the
right. His lawyer, yeah, right. Now, but what I want to know specifically is like how does like a civil suit play into the criminal side of things? Like when somebody file a civil suit, does it have any type of impact on the criminal case?
Well, I do car accidents, I do some civil cases, but I don't do much defamation. One really tell you this is what I remember. I think that, the same way nobody's talking to the police, they probably need to go ahead and pull a suit. Why is that, you ask? Because in a defamation suit, if you say I did something, if you defame me,
you're breaking up really badly. It's choppy. It's really choppy.
It's choppy?
Yeah, it's really choppy.
What about now?
You're great. That's it.
Okay. So in a defamation suit, if I'm correct, and I believe I am, if you say something, if you defame my name, right? Number one, I believe I have to show that it's not true, right? So to me, using my legal imagination here, as bad as this investigation is going, right? As shoddy as it is, the lack of effort, the lack of urgency, etc., right? Bringing that case to the forefront may call for some people to look deeper into the situation. So he better watch what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? At some point, he gonna have to show he ain't do nothing. Well, how do you show you ain't do nothing? You got to show what happened. You got to tell what happened. You got to let people in on what your involvement was. So I don't think that's very smart of him. Yeah. It sounds like a lawyer trying to get $1 because the lawyer ought to know, well, buddy, ain't you trying to be silent on this?
Right.
Like, ain't you y'all trying to hope this passes y'all by? But you bringing it to the forefront of everybody's attention.
Yeah, this might be the best case scenario for the family. Like, and the prosecutor, if the prosecutor is really interested in prosecuting, this could This could be a good best case scenario because you're right. It opens them up to questioning. Now
Mm-hmm.
you got to say, why are you suing him? Well, but what did he do to you? Well, what did you do, and how are you connected to this? And so you say Nolan was you say you said what on that phone? Was that you?
Mm-hmm.
Was that
All
you?
that.
Was that you on that call?
Well, who
And,
else was there? Well,
yeah,
what
who
were you
else?
doing?
Yeah,
Come on now.
and why did we hear somebody say, Nolan, wake up? Is he dead?
Come on now. Come on now. So I mean, I think it's a damn good idea. Move forward with it. Let's see what investigation comes from that. You see what I'm saying? Because clearly, the people on the criminal side, the sheriff, the detectives, the whoever's, really not. I mean, it already came out and said they don't think it's foul play, and they ain't even talked to nobody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, I try murder cases, man. 17-1 in murder cases. Attorney Andrew Wilkerson at Attorney Andrew Wilkerson on IG. I've seen black folks go down for less.
A
I've
lot
seen
less.
black folks go down for less. And you didn't ask me that though, but I guess we'll delve into that, how I think the investigation's going and all that. But I didn't seen Negroes go down for less. Okay?
Yeah.
For less than having a dead person's cell phone with them. For less than, not reporting the crime. I didn't seen that 100 times over. So I think it's plenty of probable cause to move forward, if you ask me.
And what about this phone call? We got a young lady named Janetta Brantley who was on the show recently, and she cleaned up that audio. We had already heard some of the damaging words, statements that had been made, but then when she cleaned it up, it made it crystal clear to me that a crime was in progress. A crime was in progress. And this is the audio recording, the enhanced audio recording that I'm about to play for you right now. And I want you to listen to this again. And I want the audience to listen to it also. If you haven't listened to it already, check it out. And if you have listened to it, listen to it again. So and you tell me what you think about this. Do y'all think a crime is in progress right here? If you didn't know anything about the Nolan Wells case at all, if we wasn't even talking about Nolan Wells at all, and all of a sudden you heard this recording, would you think a crime was in progress?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
He's really dead now. No-No's really dead now. Noah, wake up. Bart, shut the F up. Damn it, Bart. Oh my God. He's dead.
I think there's more than enough PC to run for to move forward. Probable cause. I mean, you got multiple people in the back. I counted the word dead about 7 times. That's what I was trying to read the language on there, but you got people saying he's dead. You got people saying, I think I heard you killed him. I think I heard you killed him. See, here's my issue. Before even hearing that, right? Something is at bay. It don't smell right. You see what I'm saying? If it was an accident, come out and say it was an accident. If it was an accident, you see what I'm saying? And then the police would have to look into that and see if it was actually an accident. But there ain't nobody saying that. Ain't nobody say accident. People saying we ain't seen him. He never got on the boat. You see what I'm saying? So once you hear people say we didn't see him, he never got on the boat, then you hear that. Probable cause right there. wrapped up with a beautiful bow on it for you, for the police. It's Mississippi we talking about, man. You understand? Like, it's still sundown towns in Mississippi. In 2026 at 12:18, you know, on Monday, August 3rd, whatever it is today, there are sundown towns in Mississippi. I don't think Mississippi is has the right to do anything independently. For sure, not a damn investigation.
Mississippi don't. I'm gonna take it further than that. Mississippi don't have a right to exist. It is the absolute worst of all states in the union, point blank, period. Worse than Texas. I'm in Texas. You're in Texas. And we know how they get down in certain parts of Texas. But there are some pockets of Texas where you ain't got those type of problems. Mississippi can't escape it. It's from the beginning to end. Mississippi, trash, 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 trash. Now, to my black folks in Mississippi, I know some of y'all are deeply rooted in Mississippi. And I know y'all got businesses and family and stuff like that. So, and I know
get out of there.
I know how you know how to move around there, but I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time if it haven't struck you where it's going to affect your family directly. It's only a matter of time. To my good white folks in Mississippi, ain't number about 5 or 6 of y'all. Say, if the shoe fit, wear it. I'm not talking about you. You good people. You good people with me. I don't care what color you are. If you good people, you're good people. But for the rest of y'all whole setup, everything about Mississippi, I'm talking about from the schools to the courts to the police department to the healthcare industry, everything about Mississippi, the fire department, racist. All of it it's a poison in the blood, in the atmosphere. You come in Mississippi and you take a whiff of it, and boom, you know, it's nasty. It stinks. It reeks of corruption and vileness. It's just
right.
It's a place that I absolutely would not ever even consider thinking about going to.
Right. I mean, you hear multiple people on the tape. You hear Nolan on the tape, right? So we know people were with Nolan. I think you could damn near hear some water on the tape. I feel like I heard some water moving around. I don't know if he was coughing up water or if that was the lake next to him. I don't know what it was, but it's enough context on the tape to know that somebody was with that man when it happened. And to also know that they were fully aware that he was fading away. Now, from what? We don't know. You know, I think a crime was committed. You know, I'm a criminal defense attorney. I'm pro-black. I see what go on in this system, you know. But I tell you this, if it was 3 black boys, and 1 white boy that went missing, let me tell you what they would have did. The friend who got the phone that didn't turn the phone over, right? I believe there's some audio where he's saying, give me my phone back, maybe. Or some information out there where he wanted his phone back and they wouldn't give it to him.
At the very least, you're tampering with evidence. At the very least.
Yeah, no, I'm getting it. That's theft. Arrest him for theft. Bring his ass in and ask him what happened and get him to talk about them other folk, right? Then you got tampering with evidence. Now that theft, iPhone might be $1,200. In Texas, you got to reach the $2,500 mark to get to a felony. So that theft is probably a misdemeanor theft. But tampering with evidence is a felony. Get them for that felony. You see what I'm saying? Now we got you on a felony and a misdemeanor theft. Hey man, you tell us what happened, we'll drop these charges. They do us like that. They doing somebody like that downtown Dallas right now. That look like
and in downtown Houston right now, downtown Beaumont right now, downtown everywhere.
And the story's not adding up, man. I mean, I got a client right now that was charged with an M that they know ain't do it. But his story ain't adding up. They want to talk to him again. I said, we don't need to talk to you again. You know my client ain't do it, right? We ain't talking to you again. You gonna file the charges, and I had you looking crazy in court, or move on to go back to the drawing board. But my client, before he hired me, he spoke to you, which I totally disagree with. And now that you think that his words ain't adding up, you want to talk to him again. Okay, well, these people, the stuff ain't adding up. Y'all say y'all didn't see him. Well, who saw him? Here's a question. Is it anybody else that's missing on the island? Was anybody else on that whole island missing?
Huh.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, this the only dude missing on the island. We got pictures of him on the boat. We got pictures of him in the boat. You see what I'm saying? But let me tell you something don't nobody want to hear right now, though. Black folks, perk your ears up right now. I know it ain't the time for it, but I got to take the opportunity. This is the effect of not talking to the police. You see, these white folks know not to talk to the police. You see what I'm saying? You don't talk to this is a situation that embodies the fact that most of the time the police ain't gonna have nothing but what you give to them. You see what I'm saying? And it shows you what police do. And I definitely think that race affects their investigation and their sense of urgency in this. But it also shows you how police respond when they don't have no information. We just give up. We're just gonna give up, and we're gonna say nothing happened. We're gonna say it was no foul play. Come on, man. Y'all need to understand the weight of maintaining your right to remain silent, because that's what they doing. That's what they doing, and I hate they doing that because I want some justice. You see what I'm saying? But this highlights how big of a right that is, and how effective it is when you use it. They don't know what to do. You know, the dude with the judge mama, I know she told him not to say nothing else. Oh, that's all they know, baby? Okay, well, this is what we gonna do. You see what I'm saying? You're going to talk to certain people. You ain't going to talk to certain people. And then we're going to sit here and pretend like you've been cooperating this whole time. But we ain't going to give them nothing. You see what I'm saying? So I just want black folks to see that, because there's too much of that going on. Telling on yourself and telling on your partner and all this old stuff. You need to understand that these white boys is not talking to the police. And you see how slow this investigation is running.
Yeah. I want you to sit tight. I want to bring a good friend of yours in, Yamika Lewis,
okay,
to speak on this civil side of things. Yamika,
hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks for joining the show.
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah, he can hear you. He can hear you. Can you help us with this whole defamation thing, where the lawyer for Bart Edmondson, who is allegedly, according to him, one of Nolan Wells's friends, is suing people who say anything negative about his client. He's saying it's defamation of character. I mean, defamation of what do you call it? Defamation of his character, to accuse him of committing the crime. How does that go legally?
Yeah, so I mean, that could be true, because with defamation, if you say something about somebody that's not true, and especially if it's a crime that you're accusing somebody of that's not true, it's considered what's called defamation per se, like on his face, because you're accusing them of a criminal action. But at the same time, you are allowed to, if you feel like you can support some of these things, there's a such thing as called a public concern, that you can kind of go up to the line and not really cross it by saying, I think this person may be involved with this situation, without actually saying that they're a murderer, or whatever the criminal allegation may be. Because a lot of times there are public concerns about certain people, if they're a danger to the community, maybe somebody that's running around sexually assaulting people. You want to let people know, or if somebody's accused of harming somebody else, you want to let people know, because it is something that the public needs to be concerned about. But as far as defamation is concerned, you do have to be careful with what you say, what you reproduce, because a lot of people think that whenever you're dealing with defamation, that if I'm just saying what somebody else says, it's okay. But that's not how defamation law works. How it works is it matters whether you said it or not originally. If you reproduce it, then you're responsible for those statements in the same way that the person that originally said it is. But one of the big things about it is that you do have to show that there's the person who's accusing somebody of defamation has to show that there's an actual harm that resulted after the defamatory statement was made. So you just can't just say, oh, this person lied about me and said this, that, or the other. You have to actually show that you were harmed as a result of this person saying this, that, or the other about you. But right now, the laws have changed so much when it comes to defamation. It's really difficult to sustain a defamation claim in court because of what I was saying about the public aspect of things, and that you have to make sure that if you do bring a lawsuit, that you're able to sustain it 100% and prove that what they're saying is 100% true. And you have to do it on the face of the document. Even you can't leave any gaps, even though you may know everything. If you don't put that in the lawsuit, then you could fall on your face immediately, because what they have what's called anti-SLAPP laws. And what that means is we're protecting people from making important statements to the public that they need to know. And if you file a lawsuit against that person who's just trying to protect the public, then we're going to subject you to their attorney's fees for having to defend this. So it's a very delicate law right now that really has lost a lot of its teeth.
Yeah, slippery slope there. So because what's happening is the lawyers is saying that he's going to come after everybody. He's coming after the content creators. He's coming after the civil rights attorneys. That's laughable to me right there. He's coming after the civil rights attorneys. It's almost like he's saying, hey, you can talk about the case and you can say nice things about my client, but you can't say anything meany about can't be a meanie pants.
Yeah, he sounds like he's trying to instill fear in advance, trying to preemptively instill fear so people will be more cautious about what they say. And but knowing the law is where it's important. You can say all these things as long as you don't cross that line. You're allowed to be concerned about what happened, but you can't cross the line. And that's the important thing. You can't say what other people have said who have crossed the line. I think that's the important thing. Everybody needs to know, the influencers, everybody needs to understand that.
But are you able to speculate?
Yeah, well, you can speculate. You can speculate and say, you're allowed to get clues and try to investigate the whole thing yourself, and do it publicly. But you can't draw that conclusion, and that's going to result in them having harm. In fact, I looked up this because I didn't know much about this defamatory claims that were being set forth. And what I found was that they have launched an actual like GoFundMe type of thing called Give and Go to preemptively try, just in case they need to bring a lawsuit, start collecting funds to defend them on the criminal side as well. I thought that was very interesting because they've actually promoted the defamation more than, or just as much as everybody else. Is one. If you're saying, oh, they're saying this about me, well, you're promoting it yourself. So I found that to be very interesting. I'd like to see how that fund is going or how it will end up. But essentially, I don't think that what I've researched so far, that there is a claim that they can substantiate against Ben Crump. And of course, everybody wants to silence him. He's been doing a fantastic job bringing to light a lot of cases like this for over a decade now. And so people are upset about that. They've been wanting to shut him down for a long time, and they are always putting, negative spin on most of what he does. So this is not surprising that a Mississippi attorney would try to take this approach to this African-American civil rights attorney that is trying to stop things like this from happening. That has, we have historical basis for being concerned about.
Yeah, well, this is always going to happen. Anytime you are riding for black people, if you're advocating for black justice, for justice for black people, you are going to be under attack. And
Exactly.
so for all of y'all that hear people attacking people who are seeking justice for black people, just know that you should be on default. Your brain should be on default to protect them when they
Yes.
come for them, because the only reason why they're coming for them, because they don't believe that black people deserve justice. They can't stand the idea of, even when there's a black victim, for a black victim to be innocent. Oh, he had to do something. He had to do something. He caused this good white Christian to kill him. He had to do something. What did he do? What did he do? He left class early when he was in the kindergarten because he had to use the restroom. See that? You see that?
Absolutely. Yes. He's had all these truancies, or whatever the case may be, they're going to magnify whatever we do, whether it's criminal or not, just as long as they can consider it a bad act. But if I could just add one thing, going back, a lot of this stuff is very historical. If we just knew more about our history, it would make a big difference on how we approach things now going forward. We'll see things much differently than how we see things now if we just understood our history a little bit more. But recently the Supreme Court, they had this ruling on the 14th Amendment and the citizenship whole aspect of things. Well, that goes back to us. That goes back to descendants of slaves, because after Lincoln was killed, one of the Trump of his day, who is Andrew Johnson, he came in while Congress was out of session, and he put in all these laws to help kind of put the Confederates back in their rightful place, because that's where he came from. And so while Congress was out, he was doing all these things to protect them. And with them having that protection, all these Southern state Confederate folks, they were putting in all these black codes, making everything, just criminal for a lot of the formerly enslaved down in the South. Well, when Congress got back into session, they were livid. They were pissed off that Andrew Johnson took this opportunity, because back then they would have, let me just back up about Andrew Johnson. They would make it so that, they were more nonpartisan when it came to the vice president versus the president. So you had somebody from the opposite party as Lincoln's vice president. So that's why he was able to come in and just sympathize with the South the way he did, and allow them to come back into power and make all these black codes. So fast forward, when Congress got back into session, the first thing they did was like, we got to shut all this down. And the only way we could shut it down is to implement these amendments. And the 14th Amendment was one of them. So when the South was saying, well, they don't get all these protections because they're not citizens of the United States. Well, that Congress, when they implemented the 14th Amendment, that was because of those actions down in the South. And in our Fifth Circuit that we're in right now, Mississippi's in it, Louisiana's in it, Texas is in it, was a part of that community that did not want us to have our rights. And the more important thing is when they said that you're going to have to protect them because they're citizens of the United States now, and we've implemented the 14th Amendment. Those states also did not want to ratify the 14th Amendment. They refused to ratify the 14th Amendment. They did not want it to be implemented in the South. And so with it not being implemented in the South, the federal government had to negotiate with them and say, you know what, we're not giving you anything unless you ratify it, unless you make it a part, unless, you make it a part of the state. Otherwise, we're shutting you guys completely down. But what does that mean? Well, here we are now still fighting for the true ratification, because although they ratified it, they have to enforce it. And we cannot able to have them to enforce it. And we've been continually fighting the enforcement of it for all these till to this day. That's why we see these police shootings. That's why we see all these things going on and nothing happening. The cases being thrown out, qualified immunity, all these things, because they're really kind of, going against the enforcement of it the best way they can. And that is a direct result of, this Southern hate for Black people. And that history matters. If you understand that, then you kind of understand what we need to guard against.
Well, I think the Southern hate is an extension of the national hate. It's a extension of the nation's hate. It's an extension of Congress's hate, because see, Congress makes the laws, and Congress is tasked for making sure that people who are supposed to enforce the laws enforce the laws. So if police are running around here arbitrarily killing black folks with impunity, the politicians could step up and say, no, 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 that ain't happening anymore. And if you want a buck, we got something for you. At the end of the day, you think you bad? Oh, you got a little militia, huh? National Guard, come on over here. Come on over here and handle that right quick. See, they could do it if they wanted to. So just like when slavery was happening in this country, and it seemed like they couldn't figure out a way to stop it. It was because of Congress. You had members of Congress. You had sitting congressmen and women who owned slaves. You had the banks that was insuring human beings. They were insuring slaves.
But going back to when you're saying that Congress could do something, that's exactly what happened after. So we know it could be done again because it happened back then. That after the 14th Amendment was implemented, not only did they do that, Ulysses S. Grant, who was the Union leader, he actually became president because of the black vote in the South. The black men that were able to vote were able to usher him into his presidency after Lincoln. And so, so with that being said, one of the things they did was implement the KKK Act. He is the one who signed into law the 1871 KKK Act, which stopped those Southern states from allowing the KKK to, kind of just have their free will over black folks. But on top of that, what he did was, and a lot of people don't know this, he created the DOJ strictly. He's the one who created the DOJ, the Department of Justice we have now today, to protect black people from this Southern violence.
Well,
it can be done.
It ain't working too well. I guess
it's flipped. It's flipped.
they did a little. I think the laws he enacted did a little to mitigate it, but it ain't. It has been like quietly
perverted.
And for a very, very long time, and it's still going on to this day. Like I started looking up some of the mysterious murders of black people in Mississippi over the last, I think I looked up like the last 20 years or so, and it's countless. I'm talking about hundreds. I ain't talking about a few dozen. I'm talking about hundreds of black bodies dead under mysterious circumstances, and where the suspects were let me back up, not suspects, but the people who were suspected of committing the crimes were white. Okay, so it's still going on, and that is because the people on Mississippi, they got a code, and that's all of them. That's the fire department, the police department, the education, the healthcare, your doctors, your nurses, all of them, all of their asses, all of them. I'm talking to y'all direct. I know you're listening. I know you're watching. What you gonna do about it? Yeah, I'm talking to you directly. I'm talking to y'all ass directly. I know you. I studied you. You dig what I'm saying? So my thing is this. What if anything do you think could actually be done immediately to quell some of this violence against black people, specifically in Mississippi, but around this country? It's not just a Mississippi issue. Let's get that straight. Mississippi is just the big dog. That's all. They just the big dog of racism.
Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Florida, Texas, Georgia,
California, New York, Illinois, Alaska.
Because those people migrate with their mindsets. They have migrated throughout, and some of them had it the whole time. But they have come to different parts of the nation and just implemented this whole system. So it's throughout the whole United States. But what we can do is we can vote. That's what we have to do right now. And I don't know what kind of Jedi mind trick they played on Black people to make them think, oh, my vote doesn't count, I don't want to vote, we can go serve jury duty. If there was Black people going to the jury where I'm sorry, the young man up in Collin County would have been there, if more people would have showed up, then I'm sorry, remind me the young man's name. I'm lost for his name right now. Andrew's gonna kill me. Huh? Carmelo, yes, Carmelo Anthony. So there's Carmelo Anthony's every day in Texas in court. This morning, on Monday morning, those guys are showing up to court needing a fair trial in their community, and we're not there to show up for jury duty. That is going to be something we need now. We need the vote right now. We need to be able to put in the right, not only sitting judges in our community on the local level, we need to get them in the appellate courts, in the Supreme Courts. Those votes are what matter. And going back to, again, history, the KKK was created specifically to suppress the Black male vote. It wasn't because they hate Black people. It was specifically to suppress the Black vote. They put on those hoods and rode so they can show up to stop those men from going to the polls. And that was their reason why they were created. And that is the reason why Black men had to go vote in packs back then, and when they say they were murdered, they fought, they risked their lives to vote. That is exactly, it was the KKK that was put together for that specific purpose. And people don't understand that was I should say the main purpose, the primary purpose was to stop Black men from voting.
Yeah. Let's go back.
Is that serious? If it's that serious, then
it's literally dead serious, because I always tell people who talk about voting is a waste of time. If you think voting is a waste of time, explain to me why they spend millions of dollars trying to get people not to vote. Explain to me why they spend hundreds of millions of dollars to try to suppress your vote. Explain to me why they spending $1 billion to get a president in office. They're spending $500,000 not $500,000, but they're spending $20-30 million to get a senator elected. Why are they spending all of that money if voting is not that important? This is common sense stuff, right? You don't need it. If I knew nothing about a situation and I just came to this country just straight out of the woods somewhere, and somebody told me they were spending a bunch of money on voting and these people are spending all this money, and the first thing that come to my mind was like, that must be really important. That must really be important. I want to ask you about the defamation thing.
Sure.
One other question about the defamation thing. Okay, so let's say one of those so-called friends of Nolan Wells, lawyer, decided that they're gonna sue somebody in, let's say they're in Mississippi, they want to sue somebody in New York. How does that go? Where does the case go? Who has jurisdiction?
So basically, how it would work is wherever the act really happened is what would be considered the forum that the lawsuit should be brought upon or brought in. And then if you don't know the forum, it's not really clear, you can also bring a lawsuit where the defendant actually lives, where they reside. That is a way to do it, because basically what happens is they want you to give the defendant a fair shot at defending themselves. So you can't just bring them into whatever state you want to bring them into or whatever form you want to bring them into. It has to be fair. So for example, in this case, if these folks were to bring a lawsuit against Ben Crump for defamation, and he's out of Florida or wherever he's out of.
He's in Texas now.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
But wherever he's out of, he's not out of Mississippi. And so if they were to bring a lawsuit against him in Mississippi, so it could be fair, what they would allow him to do would be to remove that case to federal court, where it's supposed to be more of a fair jury for him to deal with. And so, but there's a lot of caveats with that. It has to be above a certain amount. Right now, $75,000 that they're asking for in damages that it needs to be. And just that nobody nobody that's being sued that's even a part of his team is a part of Mississippi. So it's a lot of details there, but essentially it will primarily be based on where the action happened, wherever it happened first, and then it can go to wherever the defendant state is as well. But yeah, that's essentially how it happens.
What's the chances of them successfully suing Ben Crump or Al Sharpton?
I think Ben Crump, no matter what people think, about how he presents himself or what have you, I think he's very smart and he knows better. And he knows not to put himself in the position to be sued for defamation of all things. So I think that it's not going to be highly likely that he'll be successful. And I mean that they'll be successful when he lost it against him. But importantly, I mean, he knows a lot of good lawyers that can help protect him against those type of suits anyway. They'll know all the defenses that go along with it. Like I was talking about the anti-SLAPP provisions as well.
Okay. Unica Lewis, thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate you and pouring your knowledge.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Okay.
Remember, you're always welcome,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Right.
And also, if I want to continue to add, we're still looking for justice for Keith Porter Jr. There's a lot of people in Houston, also in Harris County, that need justice in Texas. So just continue to keep those folks in the forefront and the families and everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go back with my man right here. Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Andrew, you heard what Yamika had to say about the the long sordid history of Black people, Black bodies being abused in this American system, and getting caught, getting lost, and just not even being able to get justice. Man, how difficult is it for you to be a trial attorney, especially a defense lawyer, in the South?
It ain't difficult for me at all.
It's not difficult at all.
No, it ain't difficult at all. That's all the fuel I need. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't gonna happen on my watch. That's how I look at it.
Right.
We coming in to stand tall, stand firm. I don't get my job done off knowing who the judge is. I'm shaking hands with the prosecutor. I know the law, and I'm standing on it. And I developed good trial technique. And that's all I need to move forward. All these things, these injustices, man, they just thrust me forward, man. It's fuel to the fire. I think this situation says a lot about what they think about the Black boy, about the Black man. This country has been impregnated, man, with racism since the start. I mean, we weren't even in the conversation when they were coming up with the laws. You know what I'm saying? So, I think she's a historian, and she did a very good job of explaining that very eloquently, might I add. But with this, man, it just like with this sheriff coming out, like some of these folks, man, in the climate in Mississippi, it's almost like the judge for Carmelo, how he came out before the appeal was done, or before the motion for new trial was done. I don't think anything was done wrong. We got the sheriff saying he doesn't see any evidence of foul play without even looking for the evidence. Like you are so privileged that you think you can render an opinion on something that you ain't even did the work on. You know what I'm saying? Prematurely render your opinion on something to kind of sway the. I don't know why he would say something like that, but you can't possibly expect a man like that to do his job. You can't. Not with any urgency, and not to the level that you need him to.
You said moments ago that we wasn't in the country when they came up with these laws. A lot of other people wasn't in the country either, but they're not disrespected and overlooked and murdered at the rate that Blacks are.
You're right.
In this country. So what's up with that?
I think it's because they fear us the most.
What do they fear about the most loving, forgiving group of people, and got to be in the history of civilization? Because if there's ever been a group of people who should be on the get back, it should be Black folks. Like, I know Black people who love white folks more than they love their own mama. Officer Tatum loved white folks more than he loved oxygen. So how is that?
Officer Tatum. Is that the dude that's
Yeah,
questioning?
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
don't get that man no airtime on your show, man.
No, man.
that dude's an idiot, man. Don't even, man. Nah.
It's gonna be all. If he ever get any airtime, it's gonna always be done disrespectfully. You know, it ain't gonna never be
For sure.
It ain't never
For sure.
gonna be praised with it. But that's my thing, though. Like,
He from Fort Worth, man. He from up here. Fort Worth ain't Dallas, you know what I'm saying? But
I was about to say Fort Worth is kind of questionable anyway, though. You know, like Fort Worth is kind of, you know, it's a little different from Dallas. You know.
Well, hold on. I got people in Fort Worth now, but what I'm saying is he supposed to be from Stop 6 and all, like that's a hood. It's somebody repping that hood right now. You know, I don't even know how he.
What I'm saying is that, like in Fort Worth, there's a lot of racism that go unchecked in
Tarrant County for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, 100%.
And so you got people like him, and this other guy. I can't remember his name. I'm sure you'll probably remember his name. The black guy who was anti-black woman. He hated black women, and he had a white girlfriend. He grew up. He was raised by an adopted white family, and yeah, he was at a supermarket in one of those small towns close to Dallas, and a fight broke out between a white dude and his girlfriend, and the brother stepped in to try to break it up. So when he tried to break it up, the white dude and him got into a scuffle. While they get into a scuffle, the police pull up.
Of course.
And handle him as if he's the aggressor. So, and he's like walking off from police. Police tell him to stop. He walking off like he one of them. You know what I'm saying? And he turns around and the police clip him, killed him. Now this is the same dude who was talking about how we all the same and it ain't no racism and we need to stop talking about that, and how he don't like black women and he got this white queen, and he was one of those types, like Tatum. He one of those types. And he messed around and got that N-word wake-up call. You don't remember that? I'm gonna find this guy right quick.
I mean, you done said enough, man. I mean, you can like whatever color women you want, but if black women ain't on the menu, man, I don't know what you're doing out here. But back to the Nolan Wells, man. You don't want to play the only reason we can't definitively play the race card here is because ain't nobody talking. Now, as far as the investigation, we can play the race card. You see what I'm saying? As far as everything except this, I mean, I know how I feel about it and I know where I stand. But them policemen need to kick it in that investigation, man. Or they need to get the DOJ down there. You know. The second autopsy showed the back of his head with the blood on it, or with the, I mean, it's we've had medical experts say that there's something went on. You see what I'm saying? We didn't have medical experts say this. So it just boils down to how much they value black life, man. I mean, it's just, and we know the answer to that. That's why we can't stand down. We can't back down. We got to get to the vote. I mean, on every aspect, man, we got to be clicking together. Every aspect. So, I don't know, man. I hope that he does continue to move forward with that defamation suit, because some kind of light need to be shined on this. Some kind of light need to be shined on it.
I found the guy. Jonathan Price is his name. That's him right there. You remember this guy?
Yeah, he looked like he don't like white women.
Black women.
Black women, I mean. Yeah, he got that look to him.
So on October 3rd, 2020, Jonathan Price noticed a physical altercation between a man and a woman at a Quick Check convenience store, and stepped in to break up the dispute. According to the family and witnesses, Price was acting as a peacemaker. When Wolf City police officer Sean Lucas arrived at the scene, he attempted to detain Price. The Texas Rangers noted that Price resisted in a non-threatening posture and began walking away. Officer Lucas deployed a taser before drawing his service weapon and shooting Price multiple times, leading to his death. Now, here's the thing, fam. I ain't got no problem laughing about this. Yeah, and y'all can say what y'all want to say about me. I don't give a damn, because you either with us or you against us. And if you against us, I don't care. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care who you are, because all skin folk ain't kin folk. And I do believe that people that look like us are some of our worst enemies. And they are the ones who, when we getting ready to try to escape from the plantation, they going to tell Mac, hey, they gonna do this and woo woo. Next thing you know, the whole plan then got thwarted and everybody then got slaughtered. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have nothing. He's one of the type of people who Harriet Tubman would have absolutely taken out. So I ain't got no regrets for saying what I said, and I ain't never gonna apologize for
the irony of it. Right. The irony of it is, I'm sure that was a white officer that killed him, huh?
It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rookie.
And just to answer your question, you know, even Malcolm X talked about it, you know, why they so scared of us, you know, it's you know, when you're doing somebody wrong, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you did somebody wrong 5 minutes ago, you see what I'm saying? You know, when you did somebody wrong for 250 plus years, you see what I'm saying? These millions of black folks, millions and millions of black folks, one of them rise up and get you. I got Nat Turner tatted on my leg, man. I don't know if you know who Nat Turner is. Oh, Nat. That's my boy.
You asking me if I know?
I'm sure you know, because that's how you get down. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if everybody know. Nat went at them folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Nat had them folks so mad that they was cooking them after they killed them and eating them and making things with his skin and all kind of stuff. But even brother, you know, Malcolm X, he said, you know, if the wolf come to the field and kill the sheep, you know, the sheep can't respond. Is the sheep a monster for responding? You see what I'm saying? How many times the sheep gonna let the wolf come eat them, come take a nibble on them, come bite them? You see what I'm saying? And when the rabbit get the gun, when the sheep get the gun, you know, the wolf being the white folks and the sheep being us. You see what I'm saying? It's a problem. It's a problem. You know, but you know, everybody ain't going. Yeah. Everybody just simply ain't going. We ain't got to talk about what would happen if that was one of my kids. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need no investigation. Y'all ain't doing no investigation? Okay. All right. Y'all take care. You see what I'm saying? And you feel me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's these white folks might not talk much, but you got to look at their actions, man. You got to look at their actions. And when I heard this case was out of Mississippi, man, I already knew the deal. I already knew the deal. I wouldn't even, man, I drive around Mississippi, man. That's how I feel about it.
What's the biggest legal mistake that's been made so far?
Lack of an investigation.
Huh.
Lack of an investigation, and white folks, them boys don't want to go talk to you. Go get whoever gave you the phone. Go pick them up for theft and tampering with evidence. Lock their ass in a room like you do the Negroes. I want to say the niggas real bad, but I'm gonna say Negroes, right? Go in there and tell the white boy you got his partner in the other room, like you do the Negroes, telling on him right now. Your partner in there telling on you. He said he shoot. So you need to tell us what's going on. You see what I'm saying? You in college? Oh, you might not see next semester, buddy. You might not. You might want to look into a law library. You might want to look into what the law library in the prison got in there. If you're trying to look, you see what I'm saying? They throw all kind of. Oh, you got kids? Well, wait till CPS hear about this, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Tell me what the other two people did. You see what I'm saying? Ain't none of that. It ain't no pressure over there, man. It ain't no pressure. It ain't no pressure. You can push up on them folk just because his. Hey, you ought to go at the judge, son. Because see, then you put her in a bad position. You see what I'm saying? You a judge. You supposed to uphold the law. So you telling me I'm knocking on your door right now, you ain't gonna bring your son to the station? Put some pressure on her.
Yeah, you out of here.
Yeah, put some pressure on them. I'm telling you, man, they do us so dirty, man. Pick us up, tell us anything. Ain't even nobody in the other room. Yeah, we got your partner in the other room saying you was wearing black, you did this, you had the mask on, you gave him the gun, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Employ some of that.
How telling is it that someone has been arrested for making terroristic threats against Nolan Wells' friends, but no arrest has been made in the arrest or in the case of Nolan Wells' dead body.
It's a joke. It's a joke, and it's a slap in the face to the Nolan Wells family and every black person in Mississippi, in America. It's a joke.
But wouldn't it also be a joke and a slap in the face to every person in America who claim to be decent and who claim to want to uphold the law and abide by the Constitution?
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta understand, man. On the Good Morning America interview or something like that, that the family first did. You know me, I've taken the position that I probably wouldn't allow any one of my 4 kids to just be the only black person on a boat trip. I think I put that in my bag. I think I feel that way. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mama Wells wasn't willing to say that. She got on there and said that, y'all could. She was really talking to me. She said, if y'all feel like that, you shouldn't have been hanging with the white folks, whatever. Look, man, I went to private school until 6th grade. I know it's good white people out there. I'd be remiss to say all white people bad, but some about that situation just ain't right, man.
I missed that piece. What did she say specifically?
She basically said that I would never tell my son not to hang with someone just because of the color of their skin. That's what she said. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And for me, it would be that plus more. It would be that plus you outnumbered. You see what I'm saying? You outnumbered too. You see? I mean, you got to understand, man, this it's documented history that these folk gonna stick together, man. It's documented history. You ain't got to guess. You ain't got to wonder what's going to happen if y'all get at the crossroads and it's you with them. You ain't got to guess. You know what it is. you know what I'm saying? You know what it is.
Yeah.
So, we just need to take note. We need to stay prayerful. We need to stay impactful, keep our boots on the ground. You see what I'm saying? And keep talking about it. Honestly, I commend you for continuing the conversation, man. Because, all that trying to threatening to sue, that ain't nothing but a white tactic to try to intimidate you. They've been doing that shit since 1800. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing but just trying to scare you off your square. And you got to keep 10 toes on your square. That's what you got to do. So I commend you for pushing this conversation further, man. But I'm playing the race card, man. I'm playing the sheriff acting like a racist. If it was his son, he would have let all the water out the lake looking for his son.
Huh.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like it's plain and simple. And it's things like this that make me think I could practice 20 more years. You see what I'm saying? I would like to retire, but this job is too much fun, number one, and it's my calling, brother. It's my calling. So anytime I hear something like this, it lets me know that I'm needed. It just lets me know that I'm needed. It lets me know that more people like me are needed. It lets me know I need to go to these law schools and look for some more killers, look for some more hungry folk that want to get out here in this system, teach them how to try a case the way I know I can, and put some more people out here that's stepping and standing on business. That's what it does for me, man. But prayers for the Nolan family, man. I can't imagine it. I can't even. I would be at their doorstep. I can't imagine it. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, man. And we always, as always, appreciate all of the wisdom that you provide the audience, man, and enlightenment that you give us. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Wilkerson. You dig?
Y'all check out, and last time I was on here, man, I ain't even dropped my handle or nothing. So y'all check out Attorney Andrew Wilkerson on Instagram. Check out Not Guilty Boys on Instagram. Please subscribe to our page on YouTube. We got a podcast called The Not Guilty Boys, where we basically letting the black community know what they need to know. We cover big cases. And we just want to enlighten y'all, man, and let y'all know the value of knowing your rights. And I appreciate you, Willie.
There you go. All right, fam, let me see what y'all saying in the comments. Let's see. Melanie Wright, turn off your cap lock, baby. What's up, QD? Ladies Rita? Okay, BH. McQueen, Wisdom Born 68, Wisdom Reborn, Badass Vegan. What's up, Kai? Is that Eve Bedford? Nicole Davis, Vicky Slaughter. What's up, Vic? Peter Field Corp. D Love, James. What's that? James Schutz. James Schutz. Mabel SM. Maureen Russell. What's up, Byron? Is that Tiger? Silver. What is that? Nikki Marks. All right, fam. So we're gonna keep on talking. We're gonna keep on spreading the word. Ain't gonna be no pumping the brakes over here. Though, like it's like the attorney Andrew Wilkinson said, those are just fear tactics, and they always going to use that. They're never going to just accept the L and go home. They'll never do that. Which is why, let me tell you something, fam. I learned from the best. I'm a true red-blooded American. I'm a true red-blooded American, and I learned from the best. So I got that same type of no quit in my blood. I got that no quit. I got that fight for mine, ride for mine, do whatever I got to do for mine to get the W. I got that in my blood. So all that slick talking that some of y'all do in your comments and the DMs, are gonna get you and scare you. Nah, none of that. None of that work with me. None of it. None of it. I would advise all of the content creators out there is to keep smashing the gas. Keep smashing the gas, because it's like attorney Yumika Lewis said, if they got to make you can file a lawsuit against anybody, but can you prove it? And if you can't prove it, you got to pay lawyer fees. And defamation is very hard to prove these days. So if you have been covering this case, continue to cover the case. Don't let these people spook you. That's what they're counting on. Don't let these people spook you. Keep covering the case. Keep smashing the gas. And if they sue, man, you bust back. That's why they got this thing called countersuit. You make them, okay, you want to sue? Okay, well, come on down to if you're in Miami, if you're in Florida, guess what? They're gonna have to show up in Florida. In front of in your backyard. How about that? That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.